All right, ladies and gents, here we have the Benchmade 535 or the Benchmade Bugout. Great knife. I can see why they sell so many of them. It's a very popular Benchmade knife, and I gotta say, like I said, it's a fantastic knife. I mean, good action on it, snappy, light, slicey. The grip, the handle is good. The ergos are fantastic. It fits in the hand really well. It's not an overly large knife. It's also not a small knife. It kind of falls right into that falls right into that nice range as far as I'm concerned. So without further ado, we will get into we'll get into this. So, just for a size comparison here, so I can give you a fairly accurate idea of what it is we are dealing with as far as the overall size and construction. We have ourselves, that's the Ontario Rat number 1. There, we'll kind of put that down here. And what else are we going to use for a size comparison here? Why don't we use... Here we go. We'll go with that's the ZT 0562. So that's a little bit bigger. And usually it's the Bugout I'm using for a size comparison. And that's your PM2. So I mean, it's not a huge knife, but it's also not a small knife. It's a comfortable knife. Like I said, fits really nicely in the hand. I don't have the largest of hands. Got meaty fingers, but that's where that lines up as far as size goes. Okay, so now for the particulars. We're looking at a length of about 7.46 inches. We're looking at a blade length of about 3.24 inches with a cutting edge, due to that finger choil, of about 3 inches. The steel that the blade is made of is 30 CV steel. That steel is fantastic. It is great steel. It might not be the best out there, but there is absolutely nothing wrong with 30 CV steel. So we're good to go there. Other than that, I mean, we're looking at an overall weight. This is a light knife. This is a really light knife. It's only coming in 2.1 at 2.1 ounces, which is less than, you know, it's less than an ounce an inch as far as steel goes, which is generally accepted as, you know, a pretty good weight to blade ratio. The balance on it, as you can see, is kind of right at just slightly behind the pivot, kind of right at where you see the access lock is. That's kind of right where the balance point is. So I mean, that's a pretty good balance point. It's a nice thin blade stock. The blade stock here, I'll just what am I going to pull out to compare it to? Okay, let's go PM2. So as you can see, the blade stock on the Bugout is it's quite a bit thinner stock than the PM2. It is extremely slicey. The steel's great. It is just, I'm really enjoying these knives that are coming out with the thinner blade stock, because they're doing what knives are meant to do, which is cut. Now, something else that I like to talk about is the pocket clip. This is an aftermarket clip. However, it is pretty much identical to the pocket clip that the Bugout comes with. Now, the pocketability factor of this knife is way up there. This thing glides in and out of the pocket with the greatest of ease. And when you're talking about a pocket knife, half of the word is pocket. If it doesn't slide in and out of the pocket well, then it's not a very good pocket knife now, is it? It's a kind of pocket knife. And so I'm always trying to pay attention to the pocket clips and how effective they are getting in and out of the pocket. This one, very, very good to go. Now, another thing that I like to, another thing that I'm going to start doing here on my reviews is because I'm a Canuck, because I'm Canadian, we got some cold weather up here, man. It gets a little frosty from time to time. So a lot of times when you're outside and you have your pocket knife, you're wearing gloves, right? You're outside, you're wearing gloves. It's cold. It's Canada. That's kind of the way that we do things around here. That's kind of the way things happen around here. So one of the things that I like to do is how easily can this knife be handled whilst wearing gloves? So, let's have a little look. Glove. Okay, so that wasn't... So, not the easiest handling with the gloves, but if you just use the thumb stud. Alright, so, as you can see, deploying the knife while wearing a glove, not as easy as it would be without, of course. Why would it be? And as for putting the knife away, you do need to make a little bit of an effort to make sure that none of the fabric from your little fingertips is getting in the blade path as you're closing it. But as for everything else, it's not impossible to deploy or to... It's not impossible to handle with a glove. It's actually not bad at all to handle with a glove. So we've got that going for us there. The glovability factor of that knife is pretty good. However, you know, obviously a lot better with no gloves on. But if you need to handle the knife, if you're out on a construction site, which these things, Bugouts, very typically find themselves out in hard use situations, because I got to tell you, I was... You know, like it's like you can, it's got flex to it. It's a lighter knife. It's thin blade stock. So you'd be thinking not very hard use. You can beat the hell out of this thing. And it's just, it takes a licking and keeps on ticking. I gotta say, good to go there. I have beat this thing relentlessly. And as you can see, it's, you know, it's still in pretty good shape. And the ergos are great. The blade steel's great. Everything about it is great. I can't really find too much wrong with it. There's a bit of a blade centering concern there. It's not perfectly centered. I can get in and dial that in and fix that. But as far as the rest of it goes, the Bugout is pretty good to go. It's a great size. It's a great blade steel. It's just an overall. I carry it quite a bit. Would I recommend it? Yes, I would recommend the Bugout. If you're sitting on the fence about, you know, what your knife, whether or not to get the Bugout, I guess it depends on what you're going to use it for. If you're looking for a good beater knife and you don't mind spending a little bit of money, because I mean this thing is coming in at about $150 to $160. I think it's on Blade HQ for $158 American. So you're looking at probably between $200 and $250 Canadian once that gets across the border, if you can get it across the border. So if you don't mind spending a little bit of money and on your beater knife, then this is a fantastic choice for a beater knife. There are some other knives out there that are a little less expensive that you can beat on, but this thing will hold up. It'll stand up to the tasks that you ask it to do. I mean, as long as you're not trying to pry open a safe or doing something crazy like that, or chop down a tree, then you might want to go with something a little heavier. But as far as everyday carry, everyday use, for cutting cardboard, for cutting apples, for pretty much batoning through some smaller wood, or wood carving, or just whittling, the Benchmade Bugout is a fantastic knife, and it will do that very nicely. All right, so that's pretty much all we have to say about the Bugout for today. Please come on back to Sharpened Edge. Enjoying doing this and loving the support. So, see you next time.